Watch the vision.
So I just want to know. So you are the voice of the streets. You know what I mean? The boss on Twitter. So I just want to know that how before that even comes up, you have to start working somewhere. So then, how did that even come up? Where you were like, okay, I'm going to start reporting the news, I will on Facebook or Twitter or just some brief of the news. Like, how did that even come about?
I think I first started using Twitter for the news maybe in February or March, but it wasn't like
This
consistent.
year?
Yeah, like I mean, I've had
Wow.
the account since 2015, but I started using it in like I think in like February. So like February, I had about 32 followers, and I was tweeting to all 32 of them with pride.
Wow.
And March came about, and March 15th came about, and we had our first case, and I was like, jeepers. And I started to see like the emergency orders came out, and they were just like, oh, you can be arrested for fake news. And I started to realize that, during a time like this, during a pandemic, there's going to be like a lot of false information flying about. So I felt like it was kind of a duty as a journalist to try to combat that as best as possible by putting accurate information out there in like a way that was easy to understand for the general public. And so in March, I started tweeting my soul out to my 32 followers. And I remember like late March, I was so excited. I messaged my best friend, Rashad, and I was like, dude, I have 150 followers. And he was like, congratulations, I don't care, and I try to just keep on, keep the ball rolling. I know a lot of people, when the prime minister starts talking, they kind of listen and not really listen, like they're on YouTube, they're on Facebook, they're doing their thing. So I was like, I think a lot of people would probably respond better if they can see what he's saying, like in live, what's it called?
I guess the live feed or real time, yep.
Yeah, if they can understand like the key points. So I started, just tweeting that, and we're in groups, the media. We're in a group called Bahamas Information Services, where they send out a lot of statements. We're in the police group, so the police will send out a statement whenever there's been a murder, or if somebody's getting brought before the courts, or they have a morning statement that comes out. BIS sends out random statements from the Attorney General, from the Office of the Prime Minister. And despite popular belief, I don't get the Prime Minister's speech beforehand. So it's
That's what I was wondering.
But I just figured that if we could do this as journalists, then, maybe our population, especially the younger people, would be better informed as to what's happening, and they wouldn't, believe some of the false information that individuals are putting out there for fun,
So I know that you say you guys are like in the media group, and so would there ever be a case where there may be like something that's major that's going to happen, and then they may be relying on maybe you to be like, hey, Jasper is going to portray this news, this is going to come out the best to Jasper, or maybe Candia, or any sort of way like that? Or is it just like, boom, it hits the group and it's like, okay, we have to let it out?
It hits the group, and, I think depending on what it is, everyone's kind of glued to their phone if they know something's happening. Like yesterday, I think a number of people had spoken, like I know Eyewitness had spoken to someone who said that there was going to be a statement coming out from the PM. I know my boss, Travis, had spoken to someone who said a statement was coming out. I had spoken to someone. And so we were all waiting for the BIS group to release that statement. And when it came out, like everyone was just like, OPM just announced, blah, 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 blah. But usually, like, it just comes out. There's a trust between, for the most part, the government agencies and all the news organizations, that when they release that information, that it's going to come out accurately, and there's not going to be a spin on it. So